Hey everybody, I'm going to show you the SanShin no kata that I learned from originally Manaka and Ishizuka and then Noguchi Sensei many years ago. And then in 2015, when Hatsumi Sensei started telling us that the 15th dans and seniors have to be able to do the SanShin and the Kion Happo perfectly and on command, I went back to Noguchi Sensei, Nagato Sensei, and Seno Sensei and asked them if the way I do the SanShin and the Kion Happo is the correct way or not. And they, with a little bit of correction, they all agreed that the way I'm doing it is maybe close to an official way of doing it. I don't think there really is a true official SanShin or Kion Happo, but this is the way that those three senior Shihan were doing it. And so I patterned myself after that. And Hatsumi Sensei has me lead class occasionally or warm up the class at Hombu, and I'll show the SanShin and Kion Happo this way, and everyone seems to think it's the right way. So without further ado, I'll go through it. So Shinowaza, and I think it's important that when I bend the front knee, I start to pull the lead hand back as I start to bring back the rear hand. And I go in this motion here, like that. I don't overextend the toes. I bring the three fingers up. Now this is the kind of official strike. Me personally, I mean this means chi or earth in mudra, but me personally, I think this type of a strike may be a little bit weak or dangerous because you're bending a finger over. So I'm not sure how this originated like that, but this is the way it's done. The key point though is you should be able to do it this way, this way, this way, this way. You know, come out with a shito, any kind of strike, boshiken, shikanken, extended knuckle strike, any type of strike in this movement, right? But for practice purposes, we use this, right? And one more thing on stepping. In Hombu, you'll see we always do this neutral stepping, as I'm doing right now. I don't change my position. The reason for that is because the space is so small and you don't get much room to move around. It's very important when you practice this in your dojo, though, that you move forward, that you move backwards, that you move sideways, Sayu Zengo, all directions. Don't get caught up in one pattern only. In a fight, in a realistic situation, there is a time when neutral stepping is very important. You have to be able to close the distance, you have to be able to retreat from the distance, or create distance, and you have to be able to stay neutral in the distance, depending on the situation and that moment in a fight. But only practicing one way is setting yourself up for failure. So you need to be able to practice. As you practice is how you're going to do, right? The more you practice, the more likely you're going to do that in a real life situation. So always practice multiple directions and challenge yourself when you do this. Now, Suinowaza. Suinowaza is a strike with the knuckles, point with the elbow, and drive forward with omote shito. For me, I like to strike at the same time that hand comes up. So I've got both hands up in the air. This is in almost like a doko no kamae type position. And as Nagato always says, you want to lead with the elbow when you do that strike. So I go like that. Okay, Kanawaza. Kanawaza is almost the same, it's just the strike is urashito. So you come up and do the same uchuke block, and then this hand is up here with the elbow pointed, and you want to strike out to the other side of the opponent's neck. Right? Same thing, hand comes up, strike out. And again, move in all directions. All right, Funowaza. Funowaza is our first down block. Right? Noguchi Sensei has taught many years. This little hook in the hand and wrist is where you want to capture the opponent's leg, the kick coming in, and just move it off to the side. You don't hold it in the air. You're just moving it past your knee, so your knee doesn't get, or your leg doesn't get blasted in a strike. And then drive through with a boshiken. Right, years ago I learned this with Shin, and that was from Ishizuka, and probably his background in Kukushin and Ryu, that's why he did a Shin. But more recently, talking with Noguchi Sensei, he believes it should be a Boshiken. Again, I don't think it matters that much. You should be able to do any type of strike from here, right? But if you get called out by Hatsumi Sensei to demonstrate, know that the Boshiken is probably the most likely way to do that. Okay, and again, I do the block, and that hand is back there, just like I do Chino-waza, sort of, with the hand, goes back as I bend the knee, right? I do the block, and then hand's back, and then drives through. And again. Tried many different ways of stepping to do that. The final one, Kuno-waza. The Kuno-waza, again, is a down block, and then there's this fake up in the air, a distractor, right? A little bit of kyojutsu here, and then a kick. And my points for that, down block's the same, but as I do the block, the hand is already up in the air. So I block and the hand's up, it's near the forehead, and then I do drive with a kick. Now the hands, when I do this, the hands come like that. So they're in action. They're in like an offensive fighting stance mode. Right? The hands come up and ready to fight. Right? Off to the side. The kick shouldn't determine how you move. You should be able to move in any direction and kick through, kick and pull back, kick and step sideways, kick and leap forward, all these kinds of things. Don't let the kick determine how you move. You determine how the kick is done and how you move. Again. And that is my SanShin no Kako.